Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So welcome to Survivor's launch video party. I'm so excited for you guys to be here. So I'm gonna get into this without any further ado because it's time. So let's get into this. So first of all, I'm going to start off with a Valiant series recap. I worked so hard on this, from the trailer music to my voiceover to grabbing the bits and pieces of the audiobooks. So shout out to all of the audiobook narrators, Timothy McKean for Hunter, Megan R. Buer for Shifter, Colleen Arnold for Samurai. I don't know why it was so hard. I get Samurai and Survivor sometimes my brain mixes the two up. Brandon Peterson for Assassin, and also for Immortal, because I did have some snippets from Immortal, which I've never released anywhere. And then Lana Nicole Cox and Adrian for Rogue. So shout out to all of them. So anyways, I worked so hard to put this together, and this series recap will recap the series all the way up to Survivor, but it's spoiler free. So if you haven't read the series, it's okay, because this will recap the series to prepare you to read Survivor without spoiling any of the other books, and in fact, it may make you interested in them. So without further ado, let's get started.
Then they rode off, taking my brother with them. Please, no.
Abiela's sick brother is arrested by the Arachful and taken to Zagara, where they arrest innocent men and boys who are never seen again. She disguises herself as a man and gets taken, but inside she finds herself tracked by the Hunters, genetically enhanced assassins who kill the prisoners inside Zagara, on top of struggling to survive amongst Zagara's deadly biomes.
I have called you to set my people free. The other hunters are tracking a few more friends of yours, and we'll find them soon.
Raiden called the Chosen, but did the Chosen go with him? Dragons slaughtered Nisi's entire family. Now she lives in fear that they will find her cousin, and her grandmother, the only family she has left.
Dragons flew overhead, spurting out fire.
Barone is a dragon shifter, forced to follow his clan's bloodthirsty alpha. But he's had enough. He betrays everything to do what's right. Raiden comes, but does he come in time to stop the slaughter? Megami inherited a throne she never thought she had, as a woman with only one arm. Akari remains loyal to her, even as she goes into enemy territory where she discovers weapons her clan doesn't have, and a mysterious stranger with the darkness unlike anything she's ever seen.
It thickened like fog, invisible, but almost tangible. It felt as if my body had a great pressure over it, keeping my lungs from letting out air, making any part of my body too heavy to move on my own.
As Megami's generals and councilmen wait for her to make a mistake while she's falling in love with her high general, though it's strictly forbidden, Akari and the man she loves fight in a war against enemies too powerful for her clan. The Chosen come to help. What will be left when they do? One of the first chosen was Aiden. He's helped others, especially Nisi, after everything that she's endured. But who was he before he had been chosen, before he followed Raiden? Aiden was an assassin. He killed whoever the king wanted dead, until an assassin came for the king's daughter and the king ordered Aiden to protect her. Then he wrestled with his duty and all he'd ever known versus a love he couldn't explain.
Aiden, she whispered. Never let me go.
But corruption was already there, and it came for Aiden.
There is a darkness rooted in you, Aiden. A darkness that cannot be stopped.
Even now, as he helps the Chosen portal to new worlds to find and save the others Raiden is calling, Aiden wrestles with the darkness that may one day consume his soul. This time, the Chosen are all sent to a new world on a mission together, a world made entirely out of water. Two sisters, Linnea and Linessa, spend their lives going on jobs. As a mage, Linnea wants to impress the Conclave and one day join them, whereas Linessa is a warrior who just wants to live a normal life.
Hey, that wasn't very nice. I stuck my tongue out. Linessa scoffed. Yeah, neither was you getting me wet.
As a mage, Linnea uses keys to summon magical constructs, but she buys a warrior key that seems all too real.
As I turned the doorknob that belonged to the tower door, I glanced at him one more time. He blinked once.
And Linessa is falling for him. One day, Linnea discovers a mysterious black key unlike anything she's ever seen. He isn't like the other constructs.
I clutched the black key tighter, looking around for the mage. When I glanced around, I finally saw him standing just above the water, several yards away. I hadn't told him to move, so how had he?
And she finds herself falling for him. But they discover secrets that could destroy their world, and the Chosen have to try to get there in time to save whoever they can and save the world from being corrupted by darkness, if it isn't already too late. One of those chosen is Jace, another one of the first who followed Raiden. But Jace isn't an ordinary human. He was born on Earth in ancient times as a man named Nassan. Nassan became a slave in ancient Egypt and fell in love with a woman named Eshi, but an evil mage despised them, and he and Nassan were cursed with immortality. The evil mage vowed to tear Nassan and Eshi apart, and he haunted Nassan throughout all of history.
Nassan.
She wheezed and collapsed into my arms. Eshi? Eshi?
Time passed, and eventually aliens took over Earth and enslaved humankind. Mysterious black beasts attacked, leaving Jace to figure out who they were and how to stop them. Raiden came. Raiden chose him. But how? Now, all of the Chosen, including Raiden, have their most dangerous mission yet. To infiltrate a world already corrupted by darkness, where a race of beings called the Nightclimb capture and force people to play a deadly game. 50 people will play. Only 2 will make it out alive. But the Chosen might not make it in time to save anyone, even themselves. Wasn't that epic? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And now it's time for a brand new exclusive Survivor trailer, specifically and only in this video. So some of the other trailers I've released elsewhere. This one is exclusive to this launch party, so enjoy! Hope you guys liked that. All right, so obviously Survivor is filled with, for those of you who don't know, I gotta go backwards. Survivor is like Survivor, the reality TV show, mixed with the Hunger Games. So if the Hunger Games grew up, it would be Survivor. Anyways, in this game, players must fight to survive. The Nightclimbs call it tradition. Everyone else calls it a nightmare. Every year, the Nightclimbs capture 50 humans and throw them into a twisted, brutal game of survival where the rules are simple: fight to live or die. Contestants must battle in pairs through deadly obstacle courses, brutal puzzles, and blood-soaked combat. While relying on allies they can't always trust, they must find food to prevent starvation at camp while navigating shifting strategies, fragile alliances, and opponents willing to do anything to win. When the Nightclimb host introduces powerful crystals into the game, everyone wrestles with the temptations of lying, stealing, and joining their enemies, doing whatever it takes to live. Every choice could be fatal. The Nightclimb's twisted game breaks everyone it touches. They'll betray friends to get ahead. They'll compromise everything they believe in just to survive. Because in this game, only monsters win. In the end, only 2 will make it out, and they won't be the same. So that's the blurb for Survivor, for those of you who don't know. Stick with me through this whole video because we'll have some special things at the end, including some special rewards and an exclusive reward tier that is a secret tier that you guys can only get from this video and the link that I'm going to be giving you, that will give you a link to a special reward tier that's not public on Kickstarter. By the way, the Kickstarter is live. If you guys are watching this today, it's Tuesday, August 5th, and it's launch day for Survivor's Kickstarter. I probably should have started with that. The Kickstarter is live, so I'm going to be going over the Kickstarter rewards and all of that stuff later, so stay tuned. And again, you want to watch it to the end because you want that special link with the exclusive rewards, baby, because you guys are only going to get that here from this video, and you don't want to miss it. So now that you know the basics of Survivor, I thought it would be fun to do a wheel, and I put a bunch of different basic challenges, some of the basic kind of challenges. There's tons of challenges in Survivor, but I put some of the more easy to explain ones in a wheel, and I spun it to see if I would survive or not. So here's how that went. Hey guys, so this is a section in my Survivor launch day video. I decided to spin the wheel and we will see what we get for a challenge. So I wanted to go over the options too. So this is the wheel. We could get immunity. And I'll have may have a link to the description to this in the description below so you can see what you spin. But you could either get immunity, which means you don't have to compete in a challenge, aka you survive one more day in the Survivor game. The Acid Lake challenge is the one from the image where you're standing on platforms that float above the acid lake and there's a horizontal bars above you where they're on the floating platforms above the acid lake. There's these bars around you and you have to be one of the first 15 either women or one of the first 15 men to cross the bars and get to the door before it seals off. But these sections here will disappear, so you only have a certain amount of time, and if you're on one when that disappears you will fall in the acid lake. So that is the Acid Lake challenge. Next up you'll spend 3 days in a cavern and it's a labyrinth, so you have to find your way to the other side. You have paintings to kind of help you find your way out, but it's 3 days in there, so you'll have to figure out how you survive with no water and all of that stuff. Next is a smaller cave with a monster in it, so it'll be a randomized beast that you have to face, so most people don't survive. They're very, very nasty, big giant monsters. And the next one is building a bridge, so you have to use wooden planks. You have to lower yourself down to get a bunch of planks, and then you have to build your bridge without falling, and it's just 2 ropes basically, so it's not a very sturdy bridge and it's over a massive cavern, so if you fall you die. Grid build blindfold. I didn't have a good name for that challenge, but essentially you're on a wooden grid and you're blindfolded and your partner would have to direct you on where to go, which would be terrifying. And then arena fight against Mir. Mir's one of the best fighters, so if you have to fight in an arena in a sword fight against him, unless you know how to sword fight really well, you're probably not going to make it out alive. So those are our challenges. Will we survive? Let's check it out. I'm going to see if I will survive. I'll have a link in the description below to this if I can figure it out, and so you guys can see if you survive or what challenge you'd have to face. Let's do this. No way! Oh my gosh! That is crazy! I did not, there's no way to like plan this. That is insane! I survived! Yes! I survived! You can spin the wheel and see whether you survived or not. Let me know in the comments below what you got. Let's move on to the next part of this video. I lived! I don't know how that happened. That was a pure coincidence. Okay, so just for fun, I pulled the wheel back up again. Let's see if I survive again. Ah! So as I explained in the video, arena fight against Mir. I'm going to be put in arena and a sword fight against Mir. He is one of the best sword fighters, and unless you know how to sword fight pretty decently, you're probably going to die. I'm going to die. I know how to write sword fights. I do not know how to do them. I was in Taekwondo for a bit, so maybe if he had a knife, I could disarm him, because I know how to do that, but I'm dead. I'm dead. That's a great lead into our next section, though, where we're going to meet the Survivor characters. So let's meet the characters. I'm so excited because I haven't gotten to talk about the characters, and I'm going to do a video that'll be going over all of the characters in detail. But for now, I just picked out a few that we're going to meet. So, which one of these male MCs from Survivor would you like to meet in person? Luke Sear. So Luke Sear is a Limir, which means he's used to living alone. The Limir live in the towering crystal mountains, so they climb on the outside. There are caverns on the inside. They have very isolated kind of culture. They live alone. It's easier to survive that way. So they're loners. They're not really like short, but they're shorter than the other two races because they, where they live and all that stuff. So they also can breathe differently because they're higher up. The air is thinner up there. So Luke Sear in particular is logical. He's not emotional at all. He's a very strategic kind of logical mindset. So he's definitely not one to get emotional, but that's kind of handy to have around sometimes because it's like my husband is logical, and so he can kind of logically help you out with different things, where in a situation where an emotional person like me would overthink things. So Luke Sear is also athletic. He's very brave, and he does enjoy climbing because he's used to that. So that is Luke Sear. As you see, that is the art for Luke Sear. So very happy about that. I also had to shout out my editor, H.A. Pruitt, did sketches of 12 of the characters. That was like her complete just random choice. And well, I don't think it was random, but I can't tell you the choices, so we'll move on. But anyways, she did character art for the characters and cover that with a sticker. That is a spoiler. And I like all of them, but for some reason Luke Sears was like chef's kiss. So I wanted to show you her Luke Sear. So that is her Luke Sear. And I'm just like, oh, it's so good. I love it. So yeah, so that is Luke Sear. Next up, we have Jiran. So Jiran is a Wren, which means he lives on the surface of the world, which is called Hykem. And so the Wren scavenge the surface of the world for metal and old tech from these spaceship wrecks because the surface of the world is kind of like this junkyard. It's like a junkyard for space. So wherever they live in the galaxy that they live in, I don't expand upon that in this particular book. Hint, hint, wink, wink. It's like a junkyard. So all of the like space junk and all of the spaceship wrecks and all that stuff just get dropped in this. So the Wren travel around and scavenge old parts and old tech and metal and what they can to trade for survival stuff and resources. And also maybe trying to fix up. Some Wrens do try to fix up old tech. So it's like the way that their society works. So that's kind of the life that he lives and what he's used to. So Jiran is a hard worker and he knows how to survive in the wilderness and on very little. He's a skilled fighter of the group that's taken for this game. He is one of the better fighters. You're going to meet a few of those. So that is Jiran. Next, we have Shade. So Shade is also a Wren, used to the same lifestyle, scavenging the world for metal and old tech. He is particularly good at like building things and taking old tech and old parts and kind of putting them together and making things work. And he likes building and fixing things. Use an Anakin meme if I can find it here. But he's very angry. He's very rude and he prefers to be alone and he cusses a lot. I was going to put that in there, but I didn't know how to explain it in the text very well. I don't actually write cuss words in my books. It's like the Wren version of cuss words. So he's very rude. He's very angry and he is not fun. So anyways, but I won't dictate your guys' decisions at all. I'll try to keep my bias out of it. So that is Shade. Next up, we have Mirror, and this, again, was one of the sketches. By the way, these artwork, I forgot to shout out, moymoy13.art on Instagram is the artist who did the illustrations. So I just kind of cut the illustrations to show the person that I was talking about. And again, the sketches were done by my editor, H.A. Pruitt. So shout out to her and to moymoy13.art. My cover designer is Wren's covers on Facebook. So shout out to all of them. Wouldn't be this book without them. So Mirror, he's a Lemire. So like Luke Sear, he's used to living alone, climbing in the Crystal Mountains, surviving. He's a misogynist. And he believes in putting women in their place and he flirts with them whether they like it or not. And in fact, if they don't like it, it makes him more excited and he enjoys that more. He's a skilled strategist. He is super athletic. He is a really skilled fighter. He's one of the better fighters, which is why, as you saw in my last spin for the wheel, facing up against him in the arena, I would die. I would die. And I would probably end up trying to punch him in the face because I don't like him. Mirror's a little complicated as the writer. Like as a writer, you kind of like love all of your characters in some way or form, even though he's written to be a certain way, as you can tell. So that is Mirror. I mean, we have to have some antagonists besides the main villains, right? So that is Mirror. So Nashton I'm so excited. So he's a Ren, and he was a guard in acclaimed, I don't know, sorry, I spaced out because I was thinking about some other character too. I didn't even mention the other character. Anyways, Nashton is a Ren, so again, used to the scavenging lifestyle, but he was actually part of a claimed Ren territory. So a bunch of Rens got together, claimed a territory near a wreck, and he was actually a guard for that territory. So he's used to keeping the territory safe. He's used to fighting other Ren gangs and bad guys who would try to come in and steal things from that territory and hurt people and all that stuff. So he's another one of the skilled fighters, one of the best, again, in the group. So that would be Jiran and Mir and Nashton that we've met so far. Luxier can still fight. He's just like not quite as good as like Nashton, Mir, and Jiran. So Nashton is a skilled fighter, one of the best. He also knows how to survive in the wilderness. He's brave and he's really good. He has a high moral, kind of like a sense of morale, really strong sense of morality, because he's used to being a guard, like the serve and protect kind of mentality. He loves his sister, his twin sister, very, very much, and she's also been taken as a part of the game, and so he will do whatever it takes to help his sister survive. So that is Nashton, and again, that sketch is also done by H.A. Pruitt, my editor. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a tidbit, because in this, I put the book in front of it because this is the only one I've got right now. But in this illustration, that is the Acid Lake Challenge, which I did actually show you guys a little bit in my first wheel clip. This is actually Nashton right here. So from the back. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an insight there. So that's fun. So those were, let's meet some of the male main characters in Survivor. So of the main males, which one would you like to meet? Let me know in the comments below. We've got Nashton, the Ren guard, Mir, the jerk of a Limir, Shade, the angry Ren, Jiran, the skilled fighter Ren, I guess, the hard worker Jiran, the hard worker Ren, Luxier, the logical Limir. So which one would you guys like to meet? Let me know in the comments below. And now we're going to meet some of the female main characters from Survivor. So which of the females would you like to meet? Starting off with Jyla. Again, the sketch is done by my editor, H.A. Pruitt. So again, shout out to her. Jyla is a Ren, so used to scavenging the surface. She was raised by she raised her siblings alone, which means she's bossy, she's commanding, she takes charge, she's kind of like organized, and she kind of knows like what she wants done and like what we need to do and stuff like that. But she's also very motherly. Might compare her a lot to Katara in Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you've seen that. She is athletic, so she's actually pretty skilled at certain things, and she does know how to fight a little, so she can kind of hold her own a little bit, more than I could. So if I'm facing up against Mir in the arena, she could probably hold her own against him better than I could for a little bit. So that's Jyla. Next up we have Neve. So Neve is actually a Nyclimb. This is our first Nyclimb character that I've talked about. So the Nyclimb, obviously they're the race that are actually doing this. They're capturing people, forcing them to play this game, using it as entertainment, even though people die. And so she's a Nyclimb captured by her own race. They live in the core of the world, and long time ago they kicked out the other two races, the Limirs and the Wrens, because the Nyclimbs are like, we're the best. We're the best. So you guys are just going to leave. So they were arrogant, and they have like a regime. And so she's a Nyclimb captured by her own race. She's highly skilled fighter. So she's the best female fighter that they have. One of the best, I'll say. Almost the best. But she's strong. She's tough. She doesn't trust easily. So she's very wary and mistrustful, but she's very strong. She doesn't take a whole lot of crap. She does have a target on her back from going against the Nyclimb regime. And so again, she was thrown in the game. Obviously, there's a reason why the regime threw her in here. So that is Neve. So Raven, Raven is a Ren. So again, she's used to that scavenging lifestyle, searching for metal and old tech and stuff, scrapping the metal and stuff like that. She is a dreamer and an optimist, and she's specifically an optimist who believes that there's more out there. There's more to life than this kind of just scavenging and scraping by from day to day kind of thing. So that makes her a little bit innocent, a little bit naive. She's constantly optimistic and constantly positive. And so every situation she's like, you know, just positive about everything. So that is Raven. Corin is another Nyclimb character who's been captured by her own race. I forgot to mention, again, the illustrations are designed by moymoy13.art on Instagram. And Corin has both an illustration. She's actually the blonde that we see from the back in the main illustration that I've been using for everything. So I had to bring that up. But my editor, H.A. Pruitt, also did a sketch of her. So that is H.A. Pruitt's sketch. So shout out to her again. So Corin is another Nyclime captured by her own race. She is really formal. She's highly intelligent. She knows a lot about the game. She's super graceful. She's kind. She has a strict moral code. She's honest. Her and her family have gone against the regime. So that's kind of why the Nyclime regime. So that's kind of why she's in the games. She's very intelligent, very formal, very graceful. So that's Corin. Next up, we have Time. So Time is also a Nyclime. We have a lot of Nyclime females, I notice. She's a Nyclime female captured by her own race. She's extremely beautiful. She's the most beautiful woman there. And she uses that, unfortunately, she uses that to her own advantage. She uses that to manipulate others, especially men. She really likes manipulating men. She's a liar. She's very charming. She's deceptive. She's manipulative. You can't trust a word that comes out of her mouth. She loves to stir up. She loves to stir the pot, as they say. Even though she's gone against the Nyclime regime, her family are Nyclime nobles. So that's a little bit about Time. A little bit wary, but again, I'm trying not to influence your guys' decisions at all, even though I'm biased. I think that's it. So again, main female characters that I've mentioned that we're going to meet today: Time, Corin, Raven, Neve, and Jyla. So of these, which one would you like to meet? Which one would you like to meet? Let me know in the comments below. And so now that we've met the characters of Survivor, who would you save? So this is about to get mean. I'm going to be mean. So first up, imagine for a moment, I'm making this up off the top of my head as I go. Imagine for a moment you're at the edge of the Acid Lake Challenge. They decided to bring it back. But you're standing on the bank of the acid lake, and in front of you, 2 platforms are hovering in the air. The hover discs are underneath there. They're humming lightly, so you can kind of hear the hover discs. That's what's making the platforms float. The acid is crackling, and bubbling and kind of popping up, so you kind of stand back a little bit. You don't want to stand too close to the acid. And on the 2 floating platforms, 2 people appear. Both of them are your friends. You've known them for quite some time since you've been captured in this game, forced to play. On the left side pops up Jyla. Again, she's a Wren. She's a little bossy and she rubs people the wrong way, but you've gotten to know her. You appreciate the fact that she's kind of got a motherly side. So she's always talking to people, making sure everyone's, doing okay, making sure everyone's kind of got a part to play and making sure everything's kind of taken care of at camp. She's worked really hard on the shelter and kind of making sure everybody's good to go. She's athletic. So you've noticed she's done pretty good in some of the challenges and you've been fast friends. So she's on the left platform. And you look over on the right side, pops up. Raven pops up on the right side. She's also a Wren. She's also one of your good friends. You find yourself talking to her for hours on time. She dreams, but she's so positive. Her positive energy you soak up her positive energy because you're in such a dangerous situation that you find yourself drawn to that. She's a little bit innocent and naive, but you can't help but want to be around her because in all of this horrific things that you guys have endured together, you get in your head a lot, and she kind of helps you get out of that negative mindset and that mindset of, oh my gosh, we're all going to die, but no, maybe everything is going to be okay. And so you find yourself drawn to that. She makes sure that everybody's got a smile on her face. And the Nyclimes tell you we'll do 10 seconds. In 10 seconds, both of these platforms are going to fall. And they're both going to die in the acid. They're going to bubble up right in front of you. They're going to get eaten alive by this acid. You have to make a choice on the bank. Are you going to save Raven or are you going to save Jyla? That is your choice. You have 10 seconds. Go. If I can find a 10-second timer, I'll put it up there. But 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Who did you save? Raven or Jyla? Or are they both dead? Let me know in the comments below. This is fun. I'm a little sadistic, but this is fun. All right, next up. Same thing. You're brought back to the bank. Well, you're actually still there because one of your friends just died and the other one teleports beside you. So she's now safe, whoever you saved. On the left side, Corin pops up. She's really intelligent. You've really respected her intelligent, strategic mind. She's been a good friend to you. You really appreciate her moral code and her honesty. You know you can trust her with everything. She's told you a lot about the game. She's given you kind of an inside look, and her intelligence has really come in handy with you and your partner strategizing. On the right side, Neve pops up. She's a little bit mistrustful. She was a little bit hard to get along with. She had her walls up, but you kind of broke those walls down and you got to know her a little bit. You kind of understood where she's coming from and you really appreciated how strong she is. She kind of makes you feel strong too. And even though she's got a target on her back, she knows how to fight really well. And she's taught you a little bit about fighting and how to protect yourself. So with Corin on the right and Neve on the left, they tell you again, make a choice. You have 10 seconds to decide who to save, or at the 10 seconds, they're both going to fall and die. So who do you save? All right, Corin or Neve? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who did you save? Let me know in the comments below, or are they both dead? This has been kind of fun. All right, so you saved one of them. So again, the one who survived teleports beside you. The other one died. So at this point, you're distraught. You're shaking. You're crying. You can't imagine trying to do this again. And yet, 2 more people pop up on the platforms for a 3rd time. You must do this a 3rd time. Choose again, the voice over the loudspeaker says, and you're standing on the embankment horrified because you've already been the responsible. You feel like it's your fault that 2 of your really good friends have died, and now your 2 other good friends are standing in front of you and you don't know what to do and you don't want to lose either one of them. And you look up, you're horrified to see who it's going to be, which one of your friends are going to be up there this time. And you look up on the left side, you see Geron. He's a Wren, and he's been a really, really good friend to you. He's been the hardest worker all around camp, helping to build the shelter, helping to provide for everybody, going hunting, making sure everybody has food, everybody has water, making sure everybody is safe and cared for. He's been very good in the challenges. He and Neve have been giving you tips on how to fight, how to protect yourself. And he's a good friend. He's constantly making sure you're okay and making sure you've got a smile on your face and keeping it there. Him and Raven, you know, they're joking and laughing has kept you going throughout all of this. And then you look to the right and you see Nashton. Nashton has protected you. He's kept you and everybody else safe. He's been fighting so hard to protect his sister. He has been hunting and helping to provide for everybody. And he has been a rock, a solid rock for you to turn to. And you can't imagine losing either one of them, but now you have to make a decision again. 10 more seconds. Who do you save? Geron or Nashton? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who did you save? Let me know in the comments below. Geron or Neve? Geron or Nashton? Let me know. Let me know who you saved in the comments below. That was fun. And yes, I actually came up with that on the fly. I have no idea where that came from. I have no idea where that came from. That still shocked me. All right, so some of these are going to be super fun. I'm excited. It's kind of a variation of that. Hopefully I'm not lagging. Okay, let's play a game. Who would survive? You've got Mir. He is a tough but misogynistic jerk, and everyone hates him. Or Kine, the selfish jerk who hates everyone else. It's an interesting question. Kine or Mir, the jerk who everyone else hates, or the jerk who hates everyone else? Let me know in the comments below. Let's play another game. Who would survive? The bossy, motherly woman who takes charge, or the naive woman who's been sheltered her entire life? So that's Jyla is the bossy, motherly woman, and that's Katya, the naive woman who's been sheltered her whole life. Who would survive? Let me know in the comments below. Who would survive? The best male fighter who used to be a guard, aka Nashton, or Neve, the tough female warrior who lives under a cruel regime? Who would survive? Let me know in the comments below who you think would survive. Let's play a game. I don't have sketches for these people. The funny, loyal male friend who makes everyone else laugh, or the loyal, strong man who helps out everyone else at camp? Who do you think would survive? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed that little game, or those series of games. So much fun. But we've talked about, you know, who would you save? And we've talked about who do you think would survive? And we've spun the wheel a couple times to see if I could survive, and I'll have a link to that wheel below so you can spin it for yourself. But would you really survive Would you really? So here's going to be the true test of would you survive or not. So cover up the results, but I need to look on the screen. You're taken to a meadow in the middle of a forest. What do you do first? Do you look for shelter, or do you make a shelter? Do you search for water, or do you hunt for food? Make your choices. Let me know in the comments below. So if you chose to do a shelter, let's be honest here and don't change your answer when you find out what the result is. But for those of you who chose to do a shelter first, you use nearby trees, logs, branches, and leaves to make a shelter. But you spend way too much time and energy, on it, and you have no food to eat, and you're exhausted, and you can barely move. And now it's too late because the sun's set and it's dark. It's too dark to go look for water. So you're alive for now, but you don't have any water. And you don't have any food, which you could probably last for a little bit, but you don't have any water and you can't go look for it. And you're so exhausted, you don't know if you can. So you won't be alive for long. However, those of you who searched for water first, you find a nearby stream and you get water. It makes you feel so refreshed, and you're able to build a shelter and search for food and get everything done because you found water. And so the most important thing was done first. So for those of you who searched for food first, you try to hunt nearby critters, but you don't catch anything. On the way, you end up tripping over a log and breaking your ankle. You didn't search for water, and now it's dark. You have no shelter, and with your broken ankle, you'll probably die in the first challenge. How did you do? Let me know. Yes, I know, it was random. So next up, again, cover up the spoilers. Your teammate is being difficult and doesn't want to help you do anything. So what do? Do you confront him or her? Do you let it go? Or do you open up to your partner and see if there's a way that you guys can work together? Let me know in the comments below what you would do. So for those of you who confronted your partner, this results in a screaming match between you two that draws attention of everyone else. And so now no other teams want to be in alliance with you because you're not really getting along with your partner. And some people think you're an easy target. So you'll probably be everyone's target now because you're already not getting along with your partner and you're an easy target. So if you decided to let it go, you avoid the conflict, and you find a few isolated allies and other teams and people who wanted to work with you, but it isn't enough. You and your partner keep fighting about everything, and you lose the next challenge, and it results in both of you dying. So last up, for those of you who opened up to your partner to see if you could find a way to work together. So eventually your partner caves and you worked through your issues and you get to know each other, and it helps you both survive the next challenge and you become decent allies with one another. Lastly, you have to betray an ally in order to side with a more powerful alliance. If you don't, you'll be the new target and probably won't survive. But this is an ally and a close friend of yours, so what do? Do you refuse to betray your friend? Do you find a way to lie and get yourself out of it without directly betraying your ally? Or do you betray your friend? So for those of you who refused to betray your best friend, you knew it was coming and you knew it would make you the new target. And that's indeed what happens. You're the new target and it's not long before you die. But you did it for a good cause. You wasn't going to betray your friend or your morals. So good job for you. So maybe you're a little bit more deceptive and you found a way to lie and get yourself out of it. So you kind of wormed your way out of things without directly betraying your ally, but it still allowed you to kind of be able to play both sides. So you're still with the big alliance, but your friend was kind of betrayed, but like you didn't really directly betray them. So it's kind of like you wormed your way through things. So you're kind of in the middle right now. And then for those of you who decided to betray your friend, it gets you in with bigger alliance and it helps you survive the game and carry on further, but your friend does not survive and the guilt stays with you forever. So cover up the spoilers again. So next up we have a special session. 3 things that I love about Survivor and 1 thing that I hate about it. So you ready for this? Here we go. Number 1, I love the brutal team dynamics. So the lies, the secrets, the alliances, the betrayals, the politics, like all of the like team dynamic stuff. I love it. I am here for it. That is my thing. I love watching that in Survivor. I love it. It is so much fun. Number 2, I love the dangerous, deadly challenges and puzzles. I am a sucker for that kind of stuff. That's why the Hunger Games, like Catching Fire, the arena was so fun and creative. The challenges in Survivor are so fun, but my brain immediately is like, what if that was lava? What if that was like over a pit of spikes? What if there were snakes in the sand coming out to bite them? Like, my brain thinks of that kind of stuff, and I love the idea of doing these challenges that are physically grueling and also very difficult with the puzzles that are dangerous. That is my thing. I love that. Number 3, I love the characters. So not just the characters themselves, which I do love, even the bad ones and the antagonistic ones that are like Mir, he's a bad, misogynistic, that's a bad thing. I still love him as a character just because of the way, like, he is what he's intended to be. And so it's not just the characters that I love, but I love their dynamics with each other and the friendships, the platonic friendships, the brotherships, the friendships, the girl friendships in there, the bro ships are like a thing. I love the romances. I love the romances. They make me swoon. But what do I hate about Survivor? I hate what I had to do to some of the characters. I hate what I had to do to some of the characters. I hated that. I know there's memes that writers enjoy it. We don't. I mourn. I cried when I was editing it. Okay. I don't like it. I hated what I had to do, but I had to. So next up, we have a session or a section of this video of books to read while you're waiting on Survivor. So check that out. This is books to read while you wait on Survivor. So let's get into this. So first of all, we have The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. This is the new updated, like, fancy covers, which they are gorgeous, by the way. So it's literally Survivor, the TV show, meets The Hunger Games. So mine are about adults, so mine's not YA like The Hunger Games is, but yeah, and along that same lines, if you've read The Hunger Games, Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins, that's book 2. They're both like Survivor and will give you that thrill and people going into arena and competing in a competition that is basically viewed by the public by an evil regime, but deadly. So those are definitely worth reading while you're waiting for Survivor to come out. Next up, along the same lines, is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I actually read it this year because it came out this year, obviously, and this is about Hey Mitch's Games. And this is a 5-star read for me. I genuinely loved this book. It was so epic and dramatic and everything. So if you like Survivor, if you're waiting on Survivor to come out, this is a really great book to read because it still has that. You're going in an arena, you're competing, you're gonna basically be at risk, and the allies and friendships and the characters, there's some character deaths in this book, so it's definitely like a tearjerker. I think I cried reading it, so this is very much along the lines of like Survivor. So if you're waiting for Survivor to come out, this is a good one to do. Next up, we have the Maze Runner series. I've never actually read these myself, but I do know the gist of the story, and so the concept is kind of there and kind of similar. So if you like the dystopian kind of stuff, and again, going in a dangerous place that you can't get out of and trying to survive while you're waiting for Survivor to come out, then the Maze Runner series is a good option for you. Again, this is YA and my Survivor book is not, so just to let you guys know. Next up, we have Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. So I really love this whole series, and so the whole series kind of gives you Valiant series vibes because I'm reading the final book right now, and it's like Kingdom of Ash is literally fantasy Avengers. Like the Avengers are all coming together to defeat the bad guy, but it's epic fantasy. It's not sci-fi or comic books or superheroes or any of that. But Throne of Glass has this competition, deadly competition kind of vibes to it. I didn't really think it's a good book, but a lot of people and the whole series and everybody mutually agrees pretty much that the first 2 books aren't that good, but they set the foundation for the rest of the series that gets really, really good. And the Valiant series has that aspect again, that you have a series of standalone fantasies in the Valiant series. It's all kind of building up to the moment when they all come together. So if you haven't read the other Valiant series books, you don't have to in order to understand Survivor. But even though this isn't the best book, it's still a decent book, and it does have that like fantasy contest that's deadly and risky kind of vibe. So this is another good one to pick up if you're waiting for Survivor. not necessarily last. So next up we have The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. She is a master writer. The prose is so beautiful. She writes so beautifully. This one is another situation where you have characters who are competing in a deadly contest, and this one actually is kind of vampire, so it's got a unique world, unique race building, and the challenge and the challenges and the contest and all the things that they go through kind of is very, very dangerous. It's super high intense, high stakes, tons and tons of action. So it's very, very similar to Survivor in that aspect, and Survivor has its own set of really good, world building and race building, just like this one does. So this is actually a really good one to read while you're waiting on Survivor. So that's The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. It was a 5-star read for me, and I really love this book and the series. And last but not least, entire Valiant series. Obviously, if you're waiting for Survivor to come out, this is a great chance to catch up on the Valiant series if you haven't. So you got Hunter book 1, Shifter book 2, Samurai book 3, Assassin book 4, Rogue book 5. You have Immortal and Mortal, the prequels. You can barely see Mortal here. So yeah, you can catch up on the series if you're waiting for Survivor to come out, but you can jump in any order, and you can read these in any order if you want to. You can start with Rogue and go backwards and then end up at Survivor. So those are the books to read while you're waiting on Survivor to come out. Let's go to the next section of the video. But fortunately, you don't have to wait for long, because today is Survivor's launch day. So the Kickstarter is live. The description will be down below. What do you get with this Kickstarter? I'm going to go over that right now. What comes with this collector's edition of Survivor? Okay, that's what I wanted to go over with you guys because I'm so excited. So all of 6 of these illustrations designed by moimoy13.art on Instagram, all 6 of those are going to be in the book. I don't have the book yet. So those are going to be in the back of the book, and I'm so excited to actually have the illustrations in the book. You're going to be sent a separate PDF of 10,000 words of deleted scenes. This is going to include an entire character arc, like a plot arc that was cut. So I'm excited that you guys still get to read that. It's also going to come with, for the first time in the Valiant series, I'm putting the short companion of this book on the end. Usually the short companions for a book goes at the end of the next one, just because timeline-wise. But the short companion called Directed, which I actually have the cover. So for the first time, again, I'm going to have the short companion at the end of the book. So it's called Directed, and it's beautiful. And I'm so excited about the cover, the story. It's a short bonus story, so that's going to be going at the end of the book, along with a detailed character guide. So it's going to have all this information and tidbits that's not going to be in the book, and it's not going to be in the basic character guide that the book's going to get, just so everybody can keep everybody straight. And this is going to have 12 of those characters will have sketches that some of the ones that you've seen earlier, designed by my editor H.A. Pruitt, are also going to be in that character guide as well. It's going to have an exclusive signing and numbering page. Every paperback, every hardback will have its own number, so your book will have a unique number to itself, personally signed by me to you guys. The ebook won't have, it has my digital signature, and it won't have a number, but it still has the page. It will have a page of the Spotify playlist with a QR code at the bottom, so all you have to do is scan that code. It'll take you right to the Survivor playlist, which I'm continuously, it has this basic songs added to there, but I'm constantly adding songs to it, so more than what's there will be on the playlist. And the fun part, this is one of my most exciting things that I'm excited for about this edition. It's going to have a team and character winner death prediction sheets. So that way, as you're reading the book and as the game is unfolding, you can make your predictions for who you think is going to end up as a team together. Who do you think is going to win X challenge or that challenge or this challenge? Who do you think is going to win the overall game? And as you go, you can put your predictions, you can put the real answers, compare, see how close you were, see how far you were, how off you were, see what you thought. And that's going to be so much fun because you guys are going to get to play the game as you read the book. And I've obviously never been able to do that as the author, clearly, because I knew what was going to happen. So that's everything in this exclusive collector's edition of Survivor. So the ebook's going to have all of this, the paperback's going to have all this, and the hardback's going to have all of this in the book. The Kickstarter also has reward tiers, different things. So like you can get all of the Valiant series in ebook form along with this new version of Survivor. Same with the paperback, same with the hardbacks. With the hardbacks, you can get the Valiant series omnibus. I don't actually have hardbacks of the main Valiant books behind me, but I have Hunter, Shifter, Samurai, Assassin, and Rogue all in this omnibus hardback, so it's still the whole series. And then I have obviously the hardback of Survivor, which I don't actually physically have with me. And then Immortal, it's hardback, so you can get the omnibus, which is 5 books in one, Immortal's hardback because that's the prequel, and then Survivor's hardback, this new edition of it, so you can get all 3 of these, plus Mortal will be sent to you as an ebook form. So you can get all of that. And so I'm so excited and stoked about this. But the other fun thing is that, thank you guys for watching this whole video because now we've reached the end. So the fun thing is that for the first 24 hours, there are 2 different reward tiers that are only available for 24 hours. After that, they are going to stop. And there's one reward tier that again is 24 hours, but it's secret. So the only way to access this reward tier and to even think about pledging to it is through the special link that I give you. That link is now in the comments in the description below. Hardback reward tier for the first 20, the hardback early bird bundle. They're called the early bird rewards. So the hardback early bird bundle for the first 24 hours has the exclusive audiobook version of Samurai done by Colleen Arnold, so the voice that you heard for Samurai earlier. I've never been able to do an audiobook, so that's funny. You get the ebook versions of you get the ebook versions of the Valiant series plus those hardbacks I just showed you. You get Hunter's coloring book, Rogue's coloring book, and Immortal's coloring book. You get the ebook bonus stories. You get all of these illustrations. So the one from Shifter with the 2 dragons fighting was everybody's favorite. You get the monster one and the Acid Lake Challenge one from Survivor, and you get the 2 samurai fighting from Samurai, which was another favorite. Plus all of these digital bookmarks. So those are digital. You get the digital bookmarks all for that price. So it'll be in the Kickstarter. So that's the hardback early bird bundle. Where's the paperback one? The paperback bundle is all of the paperbacks, which is another reward tier. You can get the paperbacks by themselves, or in the early bird bundle for the same, I think it's the same price or just $5 more. You can get the 2 additional digital art bookmarks. These were actually fan favorites from the Immortal Kickstarter. Everybody either did like the dragon or Aiden. You get the digital of 3 different digital wallpapers. So again, the 2 Survivor ones and the dragon one. You still get the digital coloring books, Rogue and Hunter and Immortal, along with all of the paperbacks of the series. So that's the 24-hour paperback early bird bundle. But for you guys, the secret early bird bundle for you guys, that is a major deal, like a major deal that I want to give to you with the link in the description below, is this. So it's the Valiant series full collection ebook plus digital swag early bird bundle. So you get all 5 of those books in the omnibus ebook. So that's 5 books in one. You get the digital Valiant series bookmark. So that's the Valiant series exclusive bookmarks. You get the 2 prequel books, Immortal. You get the Survivor, the limited collector's edition ebook. So all of the special things that go in that, you get that. You get the 6 short companion ebooks. You get 3 digital scenes from Survivor. So you get Duran and Neve, you get the monster, you get the Acid Lake Challenge digital art, you get digital art scenes from Hunter, Shifter, Samurai, and Assassin. I mean, look at that art. This art was designed by Lucas Santiago. This art was designed by moymoy13.art on Instagram. So shout out to Lucas Santiago. That is gorgeous art. You get all of that for the early bird price. This is a secret reward tier only available to the people. I'm going to send it to my newsletters and you guys in the description. So you got to grab this. It's only available for 24 hours. So you need to grab it before it's gone because this is a steal. All of this in one bundle, it's a steal. So go grab it. Check it out. Link is in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching this launch day party video. I'm so excited. If you are, give this video a like and share it around with your friends, especially if they love epic fantasy. This is an epic fantasy series of standalone backstories to like the heroes that eventually all come together in the last few books for kind of an epic fantasy version of Avengers Assemble. It's got like the heart of Lord of the Rings kind of mixed with the epic kind of like emotional gut punches and character dynamics of Star Wars with the epic fights and battles. So yeah, it is a really, really great series. It is super addicting, so getting this bundle is going to be epic because you guys will not be able to stop reading. Each book has something different in it for everybody. I mean, it's got dragon and dragon shifters and a kind of a sweet, swoony romance. It's got epic battles and sieges and feudal Japan. It's got a water world and fun, quirky adventures and kind of a fantasy comedy. It's got an assassin and a princess and her bodyguard and forbidden romance. It's got Mulan mixed with the Hunger Games and a dangerous dark woods where their sun never shines. It's got obviously Survivor, the TV show, but deadly meets the Hunger Games. It's got an epic historical fantasy romance that you're gonna swoon for. Immortal is the biggest and the longest and the best historical romance that you have ever read. It has got everything. I promise you, you're going to love this series. You're going to love this book, and this is your only chance to get all of these things. The main release is not going to have all of those things, not the detailed character guide with the sketches, not the illustrations, not the short story at the end. That's never, ever happening. So do not miss this opportunity. And I got off on a tangent, but if you liked this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more writing and reading videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And in the meantime, if you liked this launch day video then check out the video I just did yesterday about my inspiration behind writing Survivor. There's a lot of information in there, even I kind of forgot about, but as I got to talking, it kind of came to me. Where did Survivor come from? Why did I write it? Where did the inspiration for this story come from? Check that out. It will answer those questions. You don't want to miss it.